March 19th meeting to order. Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Dr. Williams,
Present.
Mr. Payne, Ms. Walker, Ms. McLaughlin,
Here.
Ms. Cunningham,
Here.
Ms. Averett,
Here.
Mr. Graves.
Here. Next, we move to item 1.3, the approval of the agenda.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda to add 9.2, the superintendent evaluation calendar.
Second.
Motion made by Dr. Williams, second by Ms. Avery to amend the agenda. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Ms. Cunningham,
Yes.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Dr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. McLaughlin,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
Mr. Graves.
Yes. Next, we'll have the moment of silence and a pledge of allegiance by Ms. McLaughlin.
If we can all stand. And as you take this moment of silence, you can reflect and give thoughts to our teachers, our students, and our community. So let's have 5 minutes of moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
Thank you. Next, we'll move to item 2.1, approval of the minutes. These are the minutes from our Thursday, March 6, 2026 regular meeting.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. McLaughlin and second by Ms. Cunningham, and these are the minutes for the regular meeting as well as the work session. Any discussion? Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Dr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham,
Yes.
Ms. McLaughlin,
Yes.
Mr. Graves.
Yes. Next, we'll move to consent items. We'll approve both together. Item 3.1, School Library Month Proclamation, and 3.2, Child Abuse Prevention Month. Board, what's your pleasure?
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the proclamations as presented for School Library Month and for Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Second.
Motion made by Dr. Williams, second by Ms. Avery. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call roll.
Dr. Williams,
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham,
Yes.
Ms. Walker,
Yes.
Ms. McLaughlin,
Yes.
Ms. Averett,
Yes.
Mr. Graves.
Yes. Next, we will move to our recognition portion. And on this evening, we have a special recognition. So we're going to throw off the agenda for just a second. And I'm going to ask if my friends will come in and join me. They're coming. Dr. Harrison, close your mouth. They're coming. We have our Region 6 superintendents here, and they're going to join us at the podium.
Right there.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the school board. My name is Ken Nicely. I'm superintendent of Roanoke County Public Schools and the chair of this year's selection committee for our region superintendent of the year. And I'm so proud and thankful to Steve Mayhew, superintendent in Pennsylvania County, for helping me join on behalf of Region 6 superintendents. We want to talk for a minute about your superintendent, Dr. Hairston. So first of all, just a little bit about Region 6. So Region 6 is a pretty big area. It stretches all the way up from Allegheny Highlands, Montgomery County, down through the Roanoke Valley, all the way down to Danville, Pennsylvania. So this is a lot of folks coming together, and each year we make a collective decision about who do we want to be our region superintendent of the year, and also who do we want to represent our region for the Virginia superintendent of the year selection process. And so this year, our choice was your superintendent, Dr. Angela Hairston. So. And I know you have a lot on your agenda this evening, so I'll keep this short, but why Dr. Hairston? Well, she puts students and student learning first. She knows she can't do it alone. She pulls together leaders, principals, teachers, staff, families, and the community all together with a can-do spirit and hard work. She leads people to believe and know that achieving success for all students is hard, complex work, but we can do hard things when we work together. Under her leadership and working together as a team, this year all Danville Public Schools are on track to success. Now, I don't care what state labels say, because I'm not a big believer in the official labels, but what I do know is all schools in Danville are on track for success. And why do I know? Because I know that all the teachers and all the staff and all of the schools are doing all the right things on behalf of the students that they serve. And they should be very proud, I know you are, of their accomplishments, their efforts that they're working together. So we brought, just real quickly, some balloons. I think I picked the right colors even. Yes. I think I accidentally even wore the right color tie today. So, and then we have just a little goodie bag for her. Different products from across the region, so you can sample those later. It's kind of heavy, so but we're just so grateful to be Dr. Hairston's colleague and friend, and we're going to take a moment here to celebrate her with you this evening.
Yes, and thank you again, Dr. Nicely and Mr. Mayhew, for joining us here today to celebrate our superintendent. But I also want to recognize Dr. Nicely because I think it's retirement. And I want to congratulate you for that, nearly 30 years in service and education. So we do appreciate you and our neighbor, Mr. Stephen Mayhew, over in Pittsylvania County. So we'll take a picture.
Thank you. He drove 2 hours. Oh my goodness.
Next, we'll move to item 4.1, celebrating a milestone, 100 adult education graduates. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Dr. Harrison.
All of our adult education team members, come on up. Adult education is an important part of our school community. Dr. Harrison came to us, I think it was about 4.5 years ago, and has been 4.5 years. And he assembled a dynamic team who cares about our community. We know that paths to success and getting that diploma varies for every individual. For some individuals, it's 4 years, some 5, some 6. And we actually have some students who are in their 40s and 50s, still trying to work toward that diploma. And to go over, you have that nurturing, caring environment at all times. When we have our graduations, everyone is so very proud. In fact, last evening, one of my students, I sent him over a little bit ago, and he graduated last night. He earned his GED, so he can go on to Danville Community College, enter the workforce at a different level. So the work is so powerful, and when you see them working with our students, it touches your heart. So I want Dr. Harrison to talk a little bit about his program, and then we have a special recognition.
Thank you, Dr. Harrison. To the chairman, school board members, we just want to present a little bit of data on our path to success. As Dr. Harrison already stated, started this work in 2021, about 4.5 years ago. And since then, we have as of last night, managed to graduate 102 students now. And none of this is possible without the team that I have standing behind me. This is just a portion of them, but I couldn't do the work without them. And I owe a lot of the success of adult ed to them because they put the work in and day out. And if it was not for them, we would not be doing the things that we are doing. So I just wanted to just close with this. We're not graduating students. We are changing lives and strengthening our community. And we are excited about continuing the momentum moving forward. And we just want to let you know that we're not done yet. We're committed to the work that's before us. So thank you for just supporting us and allowing us to serve the students. Thank you, Dr. Harrison, for the support that you provide, as well as your team at the district level.
You know, recently we recognized a coach for winning 100 games. We did that again last fall, but we want to recognize you for your 100th graduate. So you graduated too, since we had this printed, so we'll go with 100. And it says, Dr. Antonio Harrison, Coordinator 2, Adult Education and Credit Recovery. In recognition of your outstanding leadership and dedication to adult education, leading to the milestone of 100 adult education graduates from July 21 through March. Danville Public School Board, and we certainly appreciate all that everyone does, because they also offer Serve Safe certification for local restaurants to ensure that employees who are working can work safely as well. So this is for you and your team. Thank you so much. Thank you. We should just stand here and
Okay.
cover the whole team. Thank you.
Them another round of applause. Awesome. Next, we'll move to item 4.2, recognition of Donovan Reeves. If Donovan Reeves would come forward, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Danaher.
If his family and Coach Smith would join him. Look that way. Chairman Graves, Vice Chair Cunningham, members of the board, Dr. Harrison, thank you again for allowing us this opportunity to recognize. Reeves has accomplished something that is actually not easy to do in the sport of wrestling. More, Donovan has achieved some milestones that are truly, if you know the sport of wrestling, hard to achieve. He is a three-time state qualifier, qualified as a fourth place finisher in our region in 2025. In the last 2 years, he was our region runner-up. He is also, this past year, finished sixth in the state, which is a place finisher in the state of Virginia. His overall record is 66-20 in 3 years. He is a testament to Coach Smith and Coach Medlin and the hard work that they've put in the wrestling room and the commitment that he's made to the sport of wrestling. He's also an outstanding football player, but this young man deserves a lot of credit for what he did in wrestling, along with his parents and his brother, who are with him today.
I'm used to being like the tallest one. We made Donovan, this this is for you. And as you go on to the next level, we want you to remember Danville. And if you become an NFL or a wrestler, please remember to donate back to your family. But this reads your record here, 4D runner-up, and your dedication and perseverance and commitment to excellence have brought us pride to our school community. And we're so delighted to have your brother, your mom, and coach, and dad here as supporters. We really appreciate you. Thank you so much. And then we'll get a picture with you. We're gonna get it now because it's a big group. Okay. We'll get it. Yeah, if you don't mind. Yeah. Yeah. It's a bigger group. I'm sorry.
Let's give Donovan another round of applause. Next, we move to item 4.3, Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, March 2026. I'll turn it over to Ms. Trina McLaughlin, and if Ms. Mentor would come forward, please.
Proclamation, Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month, March 2026. Whereas developmental disabilities occur among all racial, ethnic, and socioeconomic groups, and whereas recent estimates in the United States show that about 1 in 6 children aged 3 through 17 have one or more developmental disabilities, and whereas Virginians with developmental disabilities contribute significantly to our schools, families, faith communities, and workforce, and whereas the Danville Public Schools is committed to a community-based system of support for individuals with developmental disabilities and is redesigning critical programs and services to promote inclusion and community integration. And whereas Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month is a time to recognize the Danville Public Schools' efforts to achieve a culture of meaningful and full inclusion of individuals with developmental disabilities in all facets of community life, and to set forth its commitment to identify and remove barriers to inclusion for all Virginians. And whereas recognizing the abilities and contributions of people with developmental disabilities enriches our school community and signifies our commitment to equal opportunity, access, and rights for individuals with disabilities. Therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of Danville Public Schools does hereby proclaim the month of March 2026 as Developmental Disabilities Awareness Month and encourages all students, staff, parents, and community members to acknowledge its observance. Adopted by Danville School Board on March 5th, 2026, signed Chair Taekwon Graves, Superintendent Dr. Angela Hairston.
Good evening, Chairman Graves, Vice Chair Cunningham, Dr. Hairston, members of the board. Each March, we recognize and bring awareness to developmental disabilities. Joining me this evening to help bring awareness is Rhonda Wright Simmers, principal of Grove Park and Northside Preschools, Miss Tiffany Younger, early childhood special education teacher at Grove Park Preschool. And we have our friend, Mr. Tristan Akers, with his mom, Tiffany, but he decided to not come up front. He's one of our students who participates in the programming offered at Grove Park Preschool. Within our school community, we celebrate diversity and inclusion. We recognize that true inclusion means focusing on our students' strengths, not labels. We celebrate our inclusive schools, and we recognize that Danville Public Schools ensures that all students have the opportunity to learn, participate, and succeed. As we work to bring awareness to the importance of ensuring that everyone belongs, activities such as reading stories or books about the contributions of individuals with disabilities, the Kindness and Friendship Challenge, where maybe you play a game with a friend, or you create a buddy bench and you sit with someone that you usually do not sit with. Also along, we have a pledge where students can pledge to be inclusive of everyone, because everyone deserves a seat at the table. And we'd like to wrap our month up on March 31st by Wear Blue Day. We wear blue in honor of the celebration of bringing awareness to developmental disabilities. So we hope to see you all wearing blue on March 31st. Thank you. Oh, yes, and I'd like to do a Special Olympics announcement. We'll be offering Special Olympics for our students on April 13th at George Washington High School. We'll be on the football field. We're partnering with the Special Olympics Fleet Feet program, and Veronica Jennings out of Fairfax, Virginia is helping us with that. And we have a rain date of April 20th as well, so we're very excited about that activity, and we just cannot wait to have all of our students there to celebrate.
Next, we'll move to item 4.4, reading academic competition recognition. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Agner and Ms. Prunty.
Good evening to Chair Taquan Graves, Vice Chair Casey Cunningham, Dr. Hairston, and the members of the board. It is truly an honor to stand before you tonight to celebrate excellence across our district. From January through March, our students engaged in a series of dynamic and rigorous district-wide competitions showcasing not only their academic skills, but also their creativity, their confidence, and perseverance. Our mission in Danville Public Schools is to raise student achievement, close achievement gaps, and empower students to take ownership of their learning. One of the key ways that we achieve this is by ensuring our competitions are challenging, standards aligned, and designed to enhance critical thinking and skill development for all participants. We would like to take this moment to extend our sincere gratitude to our school administrators and competition coaches whose guidance and support to help make these experiences meaningful and successful for our students. This year, we proudly recognized the outstanding achievements of 97 students and 53 teams who earned top honors in our district competitions. Their hard work, resilience, and pursuit of excellence truly showcase the strength and promise within our schools. These students didn't just compete, they rose to the challenge, demonstrated their skills, and represented their schools with pride. Thank you also to the students, families, and staff who joined us for the award ceremony on last Wednesday evening. Your presence, your energy, and most importantly, your support made the event truly a celebration of our entire school community. At this time, we would like to acknowledge our reading champions. Let's hear it for the Reading Bowl champions, Activate STEM Academy, elementary and middle. These students had to read lots of books and answer lots of questions. So we appreciate them for competing in our Reading Bowl. Way to go, Activate. Our board members, would you all come up and take a picture, please? Both of them, yes, ma'am. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Yes, ma'am. Okay, thank you, Activate. Next, we have our district spelling bee winner, Mia Totten of Activate STEM Academy. We would also like to wish Mia all the best as she competes in the regional spelling bee. Principal Scott, okay. Next, we'll have Ms. Agner, and she's going to recognize our science competitors.
Well, good evening, everyone. It gives me great pleasure anytime I get to come to the board to recognize our students. So at this point, we'd like to recognize our science overall school winners. And for elementary this year, it is Arnett Hills Elementary.
You get all the mom and dad pictures?
Congratulations. Our middle school winner this year is Westwood Middle School. And we actually break this one down into grade levels so that our other schools all have equal chances. But Westwood took 6th grade, 7th grade, and 8th grade.
There they go.
Our high school science competition winners, George Washington High School. We're now going to recognize our math winners. Switch the thing. So math overall school winners for elementary, Schoolfield Elementary School. Yes. Our middle school is 7th grade Activate STEM Academy. Yes, ma'am. Activate. Thank you. We went a little out of order because our 6th and 8th grade winners were O.T. Bonner Middle School. And our high school team was Galileo Magnet High School. I do know they had several events this evening, so they may not have been able to join us. Last but not least is our history competition. So our overall school winners for History Day, for elementary, once again, Arnett Hills Elementary School. For middle school, we once again recognize Activate STEM Academy. And last but not least, our high school winner was Galileo Magnet High School. And we would like to thank you for your support in our continued work with our competitions, the work of our students, our staff, and our team, and we appreciate you. Thank you. I spoke too soon. I apologize.
Let's give them all another round of applause. And while we still have Ms. Wright Simmers and our special education department director, I just want to thank y'all for all y'all do, your educators. We appreciate your service. We thank you. But question, how can we get involved in our Special Olympics? Because I know we need volunteers. So tell us how we can volunteer, we can help support our Special Olympics.
Thank you so much for that. We are actually in the process of recruiting volunteers. So you will be receiving some information and an opportunity to come out and volunteer. You may get to pick your station. We may volunteer you, or we may voluntold you, but there's definitely a lot that we can do. And we're also utilizing our partnerships with our community foundation members and receiving different donations, so that way it's not only just a school event or a district event, but it's also a community event.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sir.
Let's give them another round of applause. Thank you. Next, we'll move to item 5.1, public may address the board. Do we have any signed up?
No, sir.
All right. Next, we move to 6.1, accounts payable warrants. And at this time, I'll turn it over to Ms. Gillis.
Good evening, Chairman Graves, Vice Chair Cunningham, Superintendent Harrison, and members of the board. This evening, you have before you accounts payable warrant number 173 in the amount of $1,647,754.35. Warrant number 180 in the amount of $556,571.45. Number 185 in the amount of $2,438,197.22. And number 189 in the amount of $703,831.36. If anyone has any questions, or concerns, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions? Any questions? Concerns? Hearing none, thank you. We'll move into 6.2, 26-27, superintendent's proposed budget.
Thank you. So I am pleased to present the superintendent's proposed operating budget for fiscal year 26-27. The budget represents our continued commitment to the students, staff, and families of Danville Public Schools. You should all have a copy of the budget before you. It's this lovely little book right here. I'm going to do the clicker tonight. So I begin this presentation with celebrating the fruits of our labor. For the first time in over a decade, all Danville Public Schools are fully accredited. This budget is designed to sustain this achievement by aligning our resources with a continued commitment to excellence. And so we built our budget on this foundation, and the foundation is our vision, which is excellence for all, our mission, which cultivates academic and social achievement in partnerships with families and the community, and our mantra, which is excellence for all, empowerment for everyone. We remain grounded in our core beliefs, which include equitable access, data-driven results, environments that are positive, welcoming, and supportive, community collaboration, and then celebrating our successes. This budget is built on the financial engine. This budget is the financial engine for our new strategic plan for 2026, 2031. We are focused on resources. We're focusing our resources on student proficiency, wellness, culture, and climate, fiscal and operational management, family and community partnerships, and communication. For fiscal year 26-27, our budget priorities are investing in our youth, high-quality instructional materials, investing in our employees, and strengthening parent engagement. We'll now go into the funding. It's important to note that the timing of our state funding. The governor's budget was released in December of 2025, and we are using that proposal to build our current budget. The Virginia legislature adjourned on March 14th of 2026, this past Saturday. However, they did not finalize a budget as of yet. They are supposed to reconvene on April 23rd, 2026. And at that time, once we get our final figures from the state, we will adjust our budget at that point. So let's compare our fiscal year 26 revenue to our fiscal year 27 proposed budget. So the Commonwealth of Virginia, our budget is is going to decline slightly to 71.9 million from the adopted budget. The City of Danville appropriation is proposing to increase by 2.9 to 35.4 million. Our federal grants taken us, are going to remain the same, and our operating revenue is going to go down slightly. Our total proposed budget overview is $116.3 million. Of that, 0.8 million is, and plus a 0.8 million for textbooks, 5.6 million for school nutrition, for a total proposed budget of 122.7 million, inclusive of textbooks and school nutrition funds. So our proposed operating revenue, like we said before, the Commonwealth of Virginia is 71.9, which represents 62% of our budget. That is our main source of revenue. Another large chunk of our revenue obviously comes from the City of Danville appropriation. That's 30% of our operating budget. And that includes the 2.9 million requested increase. Federal grants equal about 8 million, and then another 1 million from other revenue. Our proposed operating expenses by function, as you can see, over 70% of our budget goes towards instructional services, where it should be. Then the other 30% goes towards operations and maintenance, attendance, admin and health, transportation, and technology. So our budget is basically composed of our human capital. Our budget is 84% human capital, which includes salaries and benefits. The remaining 16% of our budget goes towards contracted services, supplies and materials, and other charges. Our City of Danville request is broken down as follows. 2.4 million is for investing in our employees, and that includes a 2% salary increase, which is the match for the state proposed 2% salary increase for our local match for our SOQ and non-SOQ funded positions. We also ask for funds for certain classified positions to complete our compensation market study increases. There's a 2% bonus that was part of the state, part of the governor's budget, that we were asking for the non-SOQ and local match, as well as a 7% health insurance premium increase. In addition, we're requesting $500,000 for meaningful engagement, and that is for remediation and for kids in need. Here's a trend of our enrollment. As you can see, our enrollment is declining slightly year over year. Our annual enrollment for this year was 5,473 students, and that was inclusive. That was as of the fall SRC report, and that was inclusive of our pre-K students. And our enrollment trends allow us to scale our operations and staffing level appropriately to meet those needs. So the calendar of our next steps are, we have a public hearing on April 2nd. We will approve our budget on April 16th. On May 5th, the City Council has a public hearing on our school budget, and on May 19th, the City Council will adopt a resolution approving the school budget. And once again, I would like to say to the students, families, community, and staff of Danville Public Schools, thank you for your continued partnership, and we would still want to repeat our mantra once again: excellence for all, empowerment for everyone. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Any questions?
I do have a question.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe I can request this later, but I'm just curious about how many SOQ positions we currently have.
That will be in our book, and we will be having a budget work session at our next work session. So we can go, but that is in the, it's on, I'll tell you what page it's on. Hold on one second. If you go to our finance section, we have approximately in our budget, in the general fund, 1,104 positions. Those are the total budget, the total positions we have in our operating budget. Are there any other questions?
Just a comment. I just want to thank you and your team for this hard work you put in for this budget process. For those that weren't able to join us at the city council meeting, it's always good to hear that, you know, education is their #1 priority. And we appreciate that partnership, that relationship with our council to continue this work to make sure that we have everything that we need for our staff and students. So again, thank you for this. Again, this is a process that we always look forward to doing, but it's always a challenging piece. So again, thank you for your work and your team's work. So please
you.
share that. Thank you. Next, we'll move to item 7.1, OST Leadership Lab update, and I will turn it over to Dr. Babalola.
Good evening, Chairman Graves, Vice Chair Cunningham, board members, and Dr. Harrison. We are here to provide an update on the Out-of-School Time Leadership Lab. This is a partnership with Suzanne Bell, who is the Program Director and Senior Program Officer with the Danville Region Foundation. It's a partnership that we've had for a couple of years now, so we thought it would be good to provide an update to you all about the entire program and the different cohorts and an overview of the program and how it has impacted our work inside of Danville Public Schools. So today I have Suzanne Bell. I also have Katia Green. She was one of the cohort members, and also Sherry Hicks. She was also a cohort member. So I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Bell.
Backwards? This way. Oh, yeah, okay. Thank you. So I'm going to provide a brief overview. If you would like a deeper dive, in your folder is this document that's a case study of how the Out-of-School Time Leadership Lab came to be, and then tucked in it, I believe, yes? No? Oh, I apologize. Coming to you now is the case study, and then this one-pager, which is a promotional material, but it'll give you a good sense of what the lab is. So the Out-of-School Time Leadership Lab is a multi-month experience focused on strengthening practice. It's grounded in a really simple but fairly complex idea that quality improves when leaders have the tools to observe, assess, and strengthen their programs. It's practical, it's applied, and it's rooted what happens every day during the out-of-school time hours. So these are hours when school isn't in session, after school, summer learning programs, sometimes before school programs as well. Well, I mean to say, before school programs are a bit more rare than after school programs, but they certainly fit the bill. So how does it create impact? The outcomes that the Danville Regional Foundation cares about are economic transformation. And the education pipeline is a key element of that, as you all know, as leaders in this space. And when we think about the education pipeline, we of course, about what happens during the school hours. We also have to think about what happens in the hours when school isn't in session. So the outcomes that can practice, strong academic performance, improved school attendance, improved behavior, can be shaped by practice in the after-school space. But those outcomes only come from quality. And so quality programs depend on leaders having the knowledge, skills, and capacity to create quality experiences. That's the through line for the Danville Regional Foundation. If we want stronger outcomes, which we absolutely do, we have to invest in the people doing the work. So how did this start? In the post-COVID years, which I know are far away but also near in our memory, we were hearing from community a real passion for improving supports for children and families. And there was a real growing interest in after-school and summer programming. At the same time, there was recognition that putting kids in the basketball in the gym was great, but we could do more. And folks needed to be equipped with how to do more, because there was a desire, but we needed to have durable skills to deliver higher quality. So the opportunity was to close that gap and to support the leaders with that set of skills. So the Leadership Lab came out of that impulse that DRF was hearing from the community, And that shared approach has been really central from the beginning. The foundation got the ball rolling because we released a request for a proposal from practitioners across the country to deliver quality instruction, but that consultant was chosen by the advisory board of the Out-of-School Time Leadership Lab. So this timeline lays that out. It's been a really deliberative effort over time. You'll see, I mentioned that request for proposals was released in January of 2023, convened the advisory committee a couple months later in March. The advisory committee reviewed all of the proposals. They selected the Smarter Learning Group as the consultant. The Smarter Learning Group met with the advisory committee and really had an experience of co-creation throughout 2023 before applications opened up at the end of the year in 2023 and then launching in 2024. So see, 2024 is there in orange. We had our first cohort, and so these two fantastic leaders were part of that cohort. Wait, no. You were in cohort 2. I stand corrected. So we've got a representation of both cohorts here. So first cohort in 2024, we learned some important things. We heard back from participants and from the advisory committee to switch from rather a calendar year to a school year and tighten it up a little bit, which we're like, great, that makes all the sense in the world. I just broke this. So from the first cohort, fantastic, thank you. From the first cohort, from the second cohort, switched from, I cannot be trusted with the clicker, lovely, switched from a calendar year to a school year. Here are the organizations that are represented in the advisory committee. These are folks you know. I acknowledge that it is no longer American National Bank, it's Atlantic Union, so please make that correction in your mind. But we've been really fortunate to have leadership from Dr. Babalola as part of the advisory committee. So this shared decision-making has been key to the co-construction of the Leadership Lab. And if you'll flip forward one more. So this was the first cohort. You'll see names of your staff and then of staff throughout the Dan River region. So there were 9 in the first cohort. Note that these titles are as of completion date. Some folks have certainly transitioned to other roles. And then the second cohort doubled in size, which is certainly speaks to the demand, I think it's fair to say, the good vibes and the sense that there was something valuable to putting time into this learning experience. So across the region. And with that, it's my pleasure to turn it over to Ms. Green and Ms. Hicks, and they're going to talk about what they learned and how they put it into practice and how it's making a difference in this system.
Before I turn it over to them, Ms. Bell did share all of the candidates, but since we're at Danville Public Schools School Board meeting, I want to highlight the Danville Public Schools candidates that were a part of the program. So in 2024, Kim Agner, Sherry Hicks, and Olivia McCraw was a part of the first cohort, and they took their learnings to help expand our Saturday school back when we did that to Mars. So they took that learning to expand that. And then this cohort, we have Dr. Michelle Adams, who's a part of the EC team, Katia Green, who is in federal programs, Stephanie Prunty, who is a part of curriculum instruction, Hillary Simmons, who is a part of the EL program, and Dr. Gwen Stone. And they have a project that they're working on, and Ms. Green and Ms. Hicks is going to talk a little bit more about that.
Good evening. Thank you for the opportunity to highlight some of the great learning that's come out of our participation in the OST Lab, not only during the 2024 year, but also during the 2025 year. So some of the highlights would definitely include the See the Possible Learning Journey Retreat. Initially, I'll be honest, when I was tasked with being a part of this cohort, I didn't know what to expect, although my assistant director, Ms. Sherry Hicks, had participated before. I was a little bit reluctant just because I didn't know what to expect and because it was going to be time away from the office as well. But it was a much valued experience, and so I understood exactly the takeaways that she was able to bring to the table. So with the See the Possible Learning Journey Retreat, each cohort traveled to Greenville, North Carolina. If you're familiar with that area, you know that they've been very innovative with how they have restructured their community as a whole. And a piece of that included their after-school programming. And so both cohorts had an opportunity to visit various sites with different aspects of after-school tutoring, whether it might be mentoring or taking an extension from your traditional after-school programming with a little bit of a twist. Also, with our cohorts, it varied between an 8 to 10 month collaborative project, which Suzanne just mentioned. Our cohort, based on the feedback from the 2024 cohort, extends a little bit of a longer amount of time so that we've been able to have a lot of more in-depth conversations. We can definitely see the intentionality as far as with this cohort this year as well. Some of our learning objectives have been to share, for them to present evidence-based strategies and for us to collaborate and to discuss those strategies as a group and to see how we can best implement those into our programmings. It also has improved collaboration and creating more partnerships. We have been able to partner, for example, with the YMCA, specifically with Ms. Hillary Simmons and our English learners. We were able to have an after-school partnership just this past year. We've also been able to just deepen networks and connections. There are lots of community resources through Ms. Kathy Gore, for example, that we didn't even know existed within our community. And we've been able to, as a DPS team, to talk about ways in which we can benefit from their resources, but also ways in which we can support their initiatives as well. So that's been very eye-opening. And then, of course, shifting the culture and mindset about after-school and summer programs. So there are great takeaways about ways in which we could still focus on the academic pieces of after-school programming, but to also bring some engaging activities to those as well based on the interest of our students, but also the resources that are available within our community as well. And Ms. Hicks will talk about things, how we were able to observe some of those evidence-based strategies during our See the Possible trips.
Good evening. I wanted to just talk about this observation tool that we were introduced to during the first cohort. During the See the Possible trip, we saw a lot of interesting after-school programs, but this particular tool is something that was a good takeaway for me. As we observe our after-school remediation programs, a lot of these areas we pull from as far as the setting, the climate, student engagement, the type of activities they're doing, the materials, are they high-quality instructional materials, and also the relationships and the cognitive growth. And some other things that are very interesting to me that I also pull from is just, the student count, the staff count, what stands out for me in different classrooms that we visit when we're observing after-school tutoring, and what could be added or changed to these sessions to make them better and more effective. And so I do look at what tools or resources we might be able to provide to them that maybe they don't already have. And being a part of federal programs, that's something that we're really interested in doing and want to do with our Title I funding. And so so that's something that was really interesting to me, and I have used the data that I got from this really quite often.
And so Suzanne mentioned a lot about high impact. And so we wanted to definitely highlight our learnings and high impact that we've been able to take away from our participation in our out-of-school time cohorts. And that would include increased Saturday school and after-school tutoring opportunities. We have definitely increased the opportunities by which our schools have been able to provide after-school programming for our students through both Saturday school and after school. We also incorporated a playbook, which is an easy reference for our administrators about best practices for implementation of their after-school programming. And as Ms. Hicks mentioned, when she goes out and observes our after-school sites, she used a rubric to provide feedback to our administrators, but also our site coordinators about student engagement, class size ratio, for example, and then just providing feedback to the tutors as well as ways in which we can improve instruction during those after-school site visits. Observation and monitoring tools, as I just mentioned before, one of the biggest takeaways has also been cross-departmental collaboration to maximize impact. We've been able to identify funding sources to support more enrichment and innovative learning opportunities. For example, we've collaborated quite extensively, even during last summer, with CTE, as well as our LEAP coordinator, as well as Ms. Agner, to find ways to maximize funding opportunities for our summer enrichment camps, for example, but also enrichment activities such as book clubs and robotics for our after-school programming. We've also, for the 25-26 school year, which we're most excited about, is we're going to, and which is part of our project for 25-26, we're going to have our first ever English Learner Summer Program in partnership with some of our OST community partners that we've been working with this current year. And so we are very excited about that. We will focus on our WIDA standards of listening, speaking, reading, and writing, but we will incorporate that through enrichment activities for our students. So although we will focus on the academics, we're also going to focus on those enrichment pieces through robotics, which incorporates CTE, as well as those core curricular aspects as well. And then we're going to pull in some Title I pieces through family engagement. We're going to offer some workshops for those families as well. So we're extremely excited about that piece and that key takeaway. And we're more than happy to answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions? Any questions? Ms. Walker?
Thank you all for that presentation. Just two questions, probably, or anyone, Ms. Bell. This is an awesome program. How do you all pick your participants? And also, is there a limit of how many participants you can have each cohort?
Great question. I'm going to take the second one first, and then I'll loop back. Our sense is that it shouldn't be kind of like too big. Part of that certainly is cost, but the other part is that we want to have some relationship building. And so I think I had budgeted honestly for 15 in the second cohort, and then was kind of like, we've got 18 great candidates. We're a foundation. Perhaps we can scrunch up some money for 3 more. So it's a bit of an imperfect science, but the ballpark that the committee kind of set out was around 15. To your first question, how does the application process work? The advisory committee created the application process for the first cohort, and we didn't change it for the second one because we felt like it worked well. And then based on availability and time, the advisory committee made the choices of who they would recommend. There was like a rubric, they ranked it, I compiled it, and then we had a conversation. And through that, there was some consensus around it. So long story short, it was very community driven. Did that answer your question?
It did. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah.
Dr. Williams?
First, thank you all so much. We hear it constantly, the kids are saying, there's nothing to do, or there's no activities for us, so thank you for putting in this work. Kind of a two-part question. What sorts of activities are we looking to do for our youth? And then how are we going to address inequities like transportation, things like that for kids who may not have availability for that?
Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry, I lost your first question. Say it again for me, Dr. Williams.
What type of activities are there for them to do?
What type of activities? From my seat, as I hear noise behind me, so I'll let them take care of that, but I'm going to answer it from my seat at the foundation. I can speak to what I hear from community, but I am not the most well-positioned person for a program to decide the activities that they offer. And so the aspiration from this is to create a stronger ecosystem around the out-of-school time so that folks can sharpen the questions they ask of themselves in their practice, create more interstitial connection among the region of the out-of-school time practitioners. And to that end, we've also supported Kathy Gore with the United Way. Kathy stood up starting in September, the out-of-school time network, because when the first cohort completed, keep me honest here. They were like, Suzanne, you're going to create an alumni network. And I was like, I wasn't aware that that was something I was going to do. But as I reflected on it, that impulse to stay connected was critical for those 9 folks, but it 9 people wasn't going to be enough. And so then it made me think, oh, we need a network for all of the practitioners in the region to come together and to share and to learn and to grow. So Kathy's done a great job with that. Since launching 9 months ago, the Out of School Time Network is absolutely punching above its weight. And your second question, which I have also now forgotten, funding for transportation and whatnot. I'm well aware, as someone who sits in a philanthropic space, that ecosystems require resources. And it's foremost on my agenda for this year to figure out how to address that.
Thank you.
Did you want to speak to?
Within Danville City Schools, transportation was one of the barriers that we were able to eliminate because through our local funding, but also through Title I, we are able to provide transportation for our families. And as far as the activities, one of the challenges that Ms. Hicks and I wanted to make sure that we could address was to still encourage remediation, but to also definitely encourage enrichment opportunities. And so you would see those types of opportunities at schools like Activate, for example, if they're robotics, after-school programs. You might also see at Woodbury where they have book clubs for students to participate in. At Bonner, they've had various types of very creative clubs. I think one year it might have included something with comic books, but it just depends on the creativity of the actual person that's interested in providing that after-school support. And we're able to support that, especially through Title I, because we can always tie in opportunities for reading and math across the curriculum.
Any other questions? Any other questions? Thank you, Ms. Bell. Let's give her a round of applause. I'd also like to recognize Ms. Gore. Thank you for being here as well. Next, we'll move to item 7.2, Business Program Spotlight. I'll turn it over to Dr. Barnes.
Good evening, Chairman Graves, Vice Chair Cunningham, school board members, and then Dr. Hairston. Tonight's spotlight for CTE is the business pathway. The business pathway, the strategic alignment is it's increased college and career readiness for all students. It's to increase work-based learning opportunities. And the second initiative is to increase post-secondary readiness. For our business spotlight for the high school pathways, we have two. First is marketing, and second is jobs for Virginia graduates. As you can see for marketing, in the 9th grade year, you can start taking classes for marketing exploration. In the 10th grade, you can start taking sports and entertainment marketing. For the 11th grade, you can start taking entrepreneurship. And for the 12th grade, you can take advanced entrepreneurship. And currently, our enrollment are 80 students. For Jobs for Virginia graduates, which we offer at GW and also at RISE, they're for our at-risk students, and currently we have 25 students enrolled. For our impacted opportunities for our business pathways, there's 3 components. We have our workforce development, career exposure, community partnerships. Within our workforce development and economic development, students in marketing and entrepreneurship course can develop workforce-ready skills through operating a student-run T-shirt company, which we have as the Eagle Press, and is our school-based enterprise. Through the hands of experience, product, design, budgeting, marketing, and sales, students gain practical business skills that prepare them for careers in marketing, retail, and entrepreneurship. And our second component, which is the career exposure and student empowerment, which students are introduced to careers in marketing, branding, retail management, and small business ownership through real-world operational experiences within that course. And then guest speakers, project-based learning, industry-aligned practices help students understand a wide range of opportunities available within the business and entrepreneurship fields. Students currently participate in FBLA which is a student-run organization. And then for our third component, which we have community partnerships and innovations, it's a school-based enterprise, which is the Eagle Press collaborates with school organizations within the community and is designed to produce custom apparel and promotional items. These partnerships provide students with authentic client experiences while strengthening connections with the school, local business, and broader community. And students have produced merchandise for the school districts, for example, the Harry Johnson Classic and a lot of others. Are there any questions?
Any questions? Any questions? Thank you, Dr. Barnes.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move to 8.1, public notice, April 2026. Thursday, April 2nd, 2026, 4 p.m., policy committee meeting here in the school board meeting room. Thursday, April 2nd, 2026, 5:30 p.m., a regular meeting followed by a work session. Thursday, April 16th, 2026, 4 p.m., student achievement and accountability committee meeting. Thursday, April 16th, 2026, 5:30 p.m., a regular board meeting. Wednesday, April 22nd, 2026, at 9 a.m., our 2026 VSBA governance training in Charlottesville, Virginia. Thursday, April 23rd, 2026, 4 p.m., governance committee meeting. Thursday, April 30th, 2026, 4 p.m., finance committee meeting. And April 3rd and April 6th through the 10th is spring break. Next, we'll move to item 9.1, school year 26-27 academic calendar updates. And I'll turn it over to Ms. McCraw.
Good evening, Chairman Graves, Vice Chair Cunningham, esteemed board members, and Dr. Hairston. I'm here to present the school year 26-27 academic calendar. Again, we need to make some revisions due to the Department of Elections updating the primary election date from June 16th to August 4th. August 4th was our original approved start of school date for next school year. And given that the majority of our schools are precinct voting locations, we don't feel like starting school on the same day as voting would be a very good idea. So in your folders and on the screen, you see our proposed revision. To maintain the 90-day semester and the 180-day school year, we propose to change October 12th from a teacher professional day to a full instructional day. Are there any questions?
Any questions?
Go back to the page.
Any questions? Any questions? Dr. Williams.
Thank you so much, Ms. McCarr. So what would be the first day of school then?
Thank you, Dr. Williams. The first day of school would now be August 5th, one day later. Yes.
Any others? Any others? This is an action item.
Mr. Chair, I move that we move the first day of school.
Second.
Motion made by Dr. Williams, second by Ms. Cunningham. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Dr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham?
Yes.
Ms. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Ms. Averett?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Graves?
Yes, thank you. Next, we'll move to item 10.1, personnel recommendations. And I'll turn it over to Ms. Wimberly. I'm sorry, Ms. Wimberly. Before you go, we have one in front of you I failed to write down. Item 9.2, superintendent evaluation calendar. This is an action item. I'll turn it over to Ms. Aver for clarification or any questions.
I make a motion to approve the superintendent evaluation calendar as you have been presented. Any questions?
Any questions? Any questions? Motion's been made by Ms. Aver. Need a second.
I second the motion.
Motion been made by Ms. Aver, second by Dr. Williams. Any discussion? Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Ms. Averett?
Yes.
Dr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Graves?
Yes. Now, 10.1, personnel recommendations.
Good evening, Chairman Graves, Vice Chair Cunningham, Dr. Harrison, and members of the board. You've been presented with personnel recommendations for your review, consideration, and approval. I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Any questions? Any questions? This is an action item.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the recommendations as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Ms. McLaughlin, second by Ms. Walker. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Dr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham?
Yes.
Ms. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Ms. Avery?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Graves?
Yes,
Thank
thank you. Next, we'll move to 11.1, Finance Report. Turn it over to Ms. Gillis.
Good evening. Once again, you have before you the revenue and expenditure statement for the month ended February 28, 2026, as well as the textbook revenue expense report and the school nutrition expense report. If anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? This is an action item.
Chair Graves, I move that we approve the financial report as presented.
Second.
Motion made by Dr. Williams, second by Ms. Cunningham to approve the finance report. Any discussion on the motion? Any discussion? Hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call for a vote.
Ms. Avery?
Yes.
Dr. Williams?
Yes.
Ms. McLaughlin?
Yes.
Ms. Cunningham?
Yes.
Ms. Walker?
Yes.
Mr. Graves?
Yes. Thank you. Next, we'll move to item 12.1, board request for information for future agenda items. Dr. Williams.
Yes, if we can get an update on our capital projects, this is where we're at with some of the improvements to our school.
Any others? All right. We'll move to comments. 13.1, Superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Graves. I tell you, I didn't have any comments, but until I went over to GW today to watch their 53rd inspection. They did not have one last year because of some budget reductions, but this year was just amazing. They were rated on skills and knowledge, grooming, and drills. Now, we do have to teach our young men about grooming, a little shaving, a little bit, we're gonna have to do some lessons over there. But they did a phenomenal job. They're up to 102 students and expecting 130 students last year. We have one student over there that scored a 98 on the ASVAB and has been offered $40,000 to go work on a nuclear submarine if he signs the papers. We have a couple of other students who have other offers from various ROTC programs at the college level. They're just doing amazing work, and sometimes we get a little sidetracked, and I appreciate all the patience for Monday with the bad weather. We get sidetracked a little bit and become a little distracted, but anytime you become distracted and we lose our focus, why are we here? We get the answer to that question. Just go see some of the great work going on with our students and principals and students. It was just an amazing, amazing morning. Ms. Hilton got to participate as well. So thank you all so much to our George Washington High School Eagles and those gentlemen over there for all the work they do with our children. Thank you so much.
Thank you. City Attorney,
I don't have any comments.
call roll, please.
Dr. Williams?
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'll keep it short. First, I want to start again, Dr. Harrison. Thank you for all that you're doing for our district. Kudos to you for your accolades and just representing sure we're the best district possible for teaching and learning. To the other Dr. Harrison, I can't even say Dr. A. Harrison, Dr. Antonio Harrison, kudos again to you for 100 graduates. As someone who works in adult education, it's not easy, so kudos again for that. To Ms. Agner, Ms. Prunter, and the rest of the curriculum and instruction team, kudos for the hard work that you all put with our academic competitions that we've had. I was devastated that I could not make it, but thank you again for your hard work with that. To DRF, thank you for your continued partnership to ensure that Danville's the best city to live and work and play. A big shout out again for the Special Olympics. If we can volunteer, parents, community members, help out for that. And as we come to close to the end of the school year, it's testing season and things approach. We just ask that you keep our students motivated, our teachers, make sure that we're providing the support for them. And let's wrap up this semester.
Ms. McLaughlin. Thank you. I was excited to see wrestling, Donovan Reeves being presented. He is an amazing young man, but that only speaks to his family. I was following them since their oldest son, we called him Juju, wrestled, and then he went on to the military. But they're a phenomenal family, and I'm glad to see he continues to progress in everything that he does. Coach Smith, I know when we were fighting over space for practices, he worked with us, but he was retiring 4 years ago, and he keeps coming back, feeding into these kids alongside Coach Medlin. And so I just appreciate how they built that program and how those guys, even though they didn't make states, they took their time out. Coach Smith was there for his birthday. They took their time out to support Donovan. So I think that's commendable. Sometimes, we're gonna make it about us, and they made it about their teammate. I'm excited that DPS continues to acknowledge academics, our academic teams and our competitions. That gives us, our children, that heart to keep going, because most of the time we're talking about football and basketball. And so I'm glad that we are truly taking time out to recognize academics. And it's sometimes those kids that don't get the recognition. So I appreciate DPS for that. Galileo had some successes in track this season, and so kudos to them and their coaches. And parents are already looking for summer opportunities. I've been getting comments from parents the last couple of weeks, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what DPS has, and anyone in the community have any programs for our students, please share it so that all of our children can be occupied this summer. Thank you. Ms. Averett.
Yes, thank you. Good evening again to everyone. Just briefly, definitely want to commend Adult Ed. In my work, I do get to spend a lot of time at Adult Ed, and just to see how they rally behind every single student, young or old, to make sure that they're successful is truly paying off, and we heard that tonight. Number two, want to thank the out of school time group for coming in, Ms. Bell, Dr. Babalola, Ms. Green, Mrs. Hicks, for all of their work. As you see, Danville Public Schools is doing a phenomenal job in school, during school time, and to be able to get a group together to work to mirror that outside of school time, I think is amazing. It just goes to show how special Danville is, all of the collaboration to make sure that our students, families, and the entire community is successful. So thank you all again for that work.
Ms. Walker.
Good evening again. Just as a little ditto on what you all said, thank you again to our adult education for pretty much allowing purpose-driven programs for our adults. Congrats also to Mr. Donovan Reeves for his commitment to excellence. And then again, thank you for DPS for recognizing and having a monthly recognition of celebrating developmental disabilities. And by our way of announcements, so Wilkinson Company is actually having a special Easter eggs hunt. The community and all of the students are invited to it. It is Sunday, March the 28th from 3 to 5. It is at Atkinson's Farm, so you know that is a humongous yard. So they're asking whether it rain or shine, they're gonna have it, and there will be refreshments, a photo booth, and arts and crafts. Thank you.
Franklin, would you like to say anything?
Real quick, I guess I would like to acknowledge is the OST Leadership Lab. Just being in like some leadership opportunities in high school, I can already tell that some people aren't suited to be leaders, some are, but almost everyone wants to be one. So having a program that specializes in that is really helpful, not only for students, but also for adults. That's all.
Thank you. Ms. Cunningham.
Good evening. I'm going to take my cue from Mr. Tyrell Payne in his absence while he's preparing for the VSBA Southern Region meeting, which we're having next week on the 25th at George Washington High School. He normally preaches a sermon in his comments, so I'm going to try to do what I can. Just this evening alone, I'm going to take two phrases that I heard from Dr. Nicely and from Ms. Mentor, and I'm going to put it together. And combined, what it says is we're putting our students and students learning first while focusing on our students' strengths and not their labels. And I'm going to let it sit for a little bit so it can marinate. I'm going to say it again. We're putting our students and our students learning first while focusing on our students' strengths and not their labels. Not to be redundant, but I'll shout out Mr. Antonio Harrison with Adult Education. Just alone today, if you follow them on social media, they've been able to announce several certifications with ServSafe. They've been able to announce GED. Just congratulating them. Sometimes we focus on the path alone and we don't focus on the outcome. However it can happen, the pivot of the path, the circumstances, the environment, we focus so much on that and we don't focus on where they ended up. And that's what I want to say to Mr. Antonio Harrison. That's what they're doing. They're not focusing on the path, they're focusing on the outcome. I want to say that contributes to the collaboration, the partnership with Danville Public Schools. Not only are we focusing on our youth, not only are we focusing on our students, but we're focusing on families in its entirety. And I don't want the people, I don't want the community and the citizens to miss that. We talk a lot throughout our school board meetings on K through 12. But I'm glad that he was able to be here today to mention the number. And it wasn't 100, he actually mentioned today, it was 102 graduates that they actually had. So I definitely want to highlight that. I've already mentioned the VSBA Southern Region meeting next week. Report cards went home on today, if I'm not mistaken. So again, shout out to all students who continue to strive and do their absolute best. That's all that we can ask for, is for our students to do their best, as well as thank you to the staff and the teachers that are there to support them. I am going to plug my own child because she is on the principal's list, okay? So congratulations to her. Ms. Mentor, I will see you next month at Special Olympics. And Principal Scott, I will see you in the morning for your award ceremony. Thank you all for what you do.
Mr. Graves.
Good evening again. What a great day. I was talking to our student representative, Franklin, and I said, man, how's your grades? How's school going? And he said, I'm in the top of my class. And he just walked off and he threw his shoulders up. So that's good to hear. We have some phenomenal students, and you heard that tonight. All the student recognitions, that's amazing. When we first started, me and Dr. Harrison, one of the things that we put on the table is we must recognize our students. Every meeting, we should hear something about our students and our staff, so it's great that train is continuing to go. I would like to thank Dr. Nicely and Mr. Stephen Mayhew for coming to recognize our Superintendent of the Year, and hopefully our state superintendent here soon. So we're going to go ahead and claim that. So thank you again, and Dr. Harrison, thank you for all your work and your team as well. I know Mr. Payne is somewhere tuning in Charlottesville, so he's not here, but he's in Charlottesville still doing the work of the board. He's working on behalf of the Southern Region. So again, thank you for that service. Dr. Antonio Harrison, it was amazing to hear 102 students. The numbers prior to him getting here, his arrival was very low. And I mean, the first year, as soon as he jumped in, the numbers just skyrocketed. And it's just amazing to see the work that's going on right on North Main Street. So great things are happening. Great things are happening there. And again, I think Mr. Cunningham has already stated, but our Southern Region Conference is next week on the 25th, starting at 5 p.m. 4:30 p.m. I'll be a little late. 4:30 p.m. But again, we're going to have a treat. We're going to have a guest speaker, Dr. Jeffrey Smith, our Secretary of Education. So if you can, if you have that opportunity, please join us at George Washington High School for that. And April 13th, Special Olympics, we're going to make sure that we attend. But I'm also going to challenge our firefighter friends and our police friends to see if they can show up and work with our students. They're always looking for work, especially the fire department, always looking for work. So we're going to make sure that we invite them as well. And lastly, I don't know if y'all are paying attention to March Madness, but Duke won today. So go Blue Devils. And with that being said, I'll move to 14.1, recess. We have a motion to recess. We don't have close? No close? Oh, y'all have an early night. With that being said, any further business? All right.